Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Heron and Forbes Machinery House, Ryco Filters, Evon's Waterless Coolants, and Pace Farm. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Classic Restos. You know, while most people are all snug and cosy in bed on a Sunday morning, I've managed to sniff out another little car show that hasn't been on Classic Restos before. And you'll see more right after this. It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. And Heron Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. Well, there is no doubt that our car events have become a lifestyle for many of us. And on this week's show, it's a trip southeast of Melbourne to Pakenham. Welcome to the Red Steps Car Megamart Wheels and Deals event. This is a free family day, and Wheels and Deals is an event planned and supported by Car Megamart to bring a variety of automotive specialists together to engage families and car enthusiasts in southeast Melbourne. In November 2016, Car Megamart launched their first mega car show and family fun day, which was a massive hit. Now their continued aim is to engage families and car enthusiasts with the Wheels and Deals event to give local Victorian brands some great exposure. And of course, it's a golden opportunity to donate to the chosen charity partner, the Young Veterans Association. Now, a big feature of today is a swap meet. How you doing, Manny?
Not bad, Fletch.
What do you got there, mate?
Oh, I just bought some sun visors. I only bought them because I had to buy these brackets for my XW so I can get it all finished.
You haven't been to the advisory about the visors?
Nah, because I got new ones. I have. I bought them brand new.
Yeah.
And I just bought a GD mirror too because I had to buy it so I can finish the car off.
How cool's that? And now that tissue paper, mate, that is so unique.
It's got Sikaflex on because I don't want to get my hands dirty. That's why.
You've got that thrown in with the deal.
Yeah. Well, that cost me only $20.
Yeah.
You know, so...
I mean, in the fair income department, where are you going to get a pair of sun visors for an XW for $20? What a deal.
So, like I said, I only bought them because of these brackets, that's it. But these are going to go in the tip. Hope I'll get the car finished soon, another couple of months.
Good on you.
Should be on the road.
There you go. Moving on through, as we do at the Cars Megamart Wheels and Deals event. How are you, Mandy?
Good, Fletch, how are you?
Good. Now, you've got a very special little car here. It's a replica. It's very interesting. It's based on the 1955 Porsche 356. What can you tell us about it?
Well, yeah, this is actually a replica. I can't afford the real things.
How much are the real ones?
Well, yeah, a genuine 55 Speedster, you'd be looking at $300,000 or $400,000. So you can buy replicas obviously much cheaper. They're still obviously quite expensive. Yeah. The price of a premium new car these days. So I did many years of saving and I wanted to buy a replica, and this one came up, was made in 1977 by a company called Intermechanica, and they're considered to be the best 356 replica makers in the world.
Now, if you were after a replica of the Porsche 356, how many variants are there?
Not a lot. No, most of them are based off a 55 model because that's the most desirable year. To my knowledge, I don't think there are any other different variants. This is the only one you can get.
Now, on the mechanical side, based on the Beetle floor pan, right?
Yeah, so it's got a lot of Beetle parts. The chassis has been cut, I think it's like about 12 inches and then put back together again, obviously very strongly. It's got a Beetle gearbox and a Beetle engine, but this one's been upgraded to an 1800. So because these are so light, it's made of fiberglass, it does get along quite well.
So there you go. It's not always about about matching numbers. I mean, the purists have always got their side of things, but I mean, at the end of the day too, trying to find the genuine matching numbers cars, I mean, it's way out of the budgets of a lot of people. But not only that, you can still buy a matching numbers car, then have to spend a mozza on that vehicle to get it right.
Yeah, that's right. Luckily, I haven't had that opportunity to do it, but it seems like the whole fashion these days is to have an original car as original as possible. Sure. And matching numbers is always that little bit of added bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mandy. Thanks for being on today's show.
Thanks, Fletch.
If you can go over there and buy me a coffee, that'd be great.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Evon's Waterless engine coolant. Simple to install and stays good for the life of the engine. Suitable for all engine types, Evon's contains no water, eliminating corrosion, vapour pressure and overheating. With a boiling point of 190 degrees Celsius, there's no application or environment too extreme. evonscoolants.com.au. Water for drinking, Evans for cooling.
Australia's changed over the last 80 years, and Ryco Filters has changed with it. But one thing stayed the same: Ryco's commitment to develop and test all our filters under Australian conditions. Today, we're proudly celebrating our 80-year commitment to a design philosophy that ensures all oil, air and fuel filters meet or exceed vehicle manufacturers' specifications, delivering genuine quality and performance you can trust. Ryco Filters, the professional's choice.
Heron Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. And with a range like this, you cannot go wrong. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House, and they're also open Saturday mornings. Their range of machine tools are workshop tested. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare and Forbes has the range. Part of today is an incredible swap meet. How you doing, Peter?
Oh, I'm very good, Fletch. Yourself?
Good, mate. Good. Look, you've a bit of garbage here from laying around the house. How do you think you'll go here today?
Very good. The people of Gippsland are very good buyers, mate.
I tell you what, your street will be quite grateful. I would imagine that this stuff here is off the property.
More like the neighbours.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and the wife. Yeah. Oh, she's got one rule. Yep. It doesn't go in the bedroom. Right. Yeah.
Well, I imagine a lot of this stuff being prized possessions over the years. Pete could have.
The prized possessions are in the man cave, mate.
Really, not in the bedroom?
No. Oh, well, now Jesus, she could get offended here, couldn't she? Eh?
Well, talking offenders, we've got some guards here. Well, now we're talking HX.
Yeah, HJ, Z, you're right. Yeah, and trim and carbies. Bit of Ford stuff further up. Yeah.
And you've got a mower catcher in the back there?
Yeah. Well, they're very good rabbit hutches and chook nesters too.
Right. You come to a car show, grab yourself a rabbit hutch. Nothing wrong with that. Now down the front we've got some gnomes going on, Peter.
Yeah, the stuff the missus doesn't want in the garden.
Right.
Yeah. And my daughter's boyfriend's right into reselling, Marcus over here. Yes. And he likes to pick stuff up and flip it, mate. That's basically what it's about, isn't it?
Well, look, I couldn't think of a better place. You got some pot plant holders there. You got an electric drill that looks buggered. You got everything here.
It's not buggered. Needs some juice in the battery, and I don't have the charger, mate.
All right, you have a good day, Pete.
Good on you, Fletch, and I love the show.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.
It's amazing what you find at these swap meets. The last thing you want is to be framed. You don't want that. One good thing, though, when you walk around is that you get to speak to some of your fans. And that, to me, is fork and funny. Yeah, I know. And sure, you've got to be careful if you've got a saw. But while I'm doing all this, I'm having a ball. What? I've been barred. Time for Rick now. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, Fletch. Yeah.
You doing okay?
Yeah, going well. Yeah. Yep, going well. Yeah.
Rick, you've bought a beautiful 1953 four-door Ford here today. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's a Customline. When I bought it, had a Chev engine 21 years ago, and
That was a bit of sacrilege.
it was. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people do that. I'm a great believer in having what comes out with what goes in, but yeah, I put it all back to original with a side valve in it, and I've had it 21 years.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I've been going a lot of shows and driving around and having a good time and enjoying myself.
Good on you, Rick. When we go back many decades, we look at the black and white movies, obviously made back in the 50s. All the cars from that era were this shape. When you go back as a young guy, what can you remember of these shapes?
Oh, I remember all the single spinners, custom lines, Plymouths, Chevs. Yeah, they were great days.
Yeah.
They were great days, you know, and they weren't fast. You had to do a lot of work to make them go, and it's a different story now, but yeah, I reckon it's great, the old stuff. I love it.
There's a lot of guys back in the day that used to race these things, though, with the flathead V8s. I mean, as you said, you work on them, and boy, you could really get them moving, couldn't you?
Yeah, I did a bit of drag race in my early days, and you know, the times that we were doing then are just a laugh now. We were doing sort of 14, 15 second quarters. Now they're doing 8, 9s and 10s.
Yeah. But Rick, when you look at those 14 and 15 second quarter times, you were doing them on cheese cutter tyres. You didn't have any brakes. So
sure.
When you put it into the pro rata perspective, you were doing very, very fast back in the day. Now, this particular car, Rick, what can you tell us about it in terms of its history? I mean, the beautiful interior, the lovely dashboard, it seems to be well cared for.
I bought it off some people, as I say, 21 years ago. A lot of the interior, all that was done. I've done a lot to it. I've painted it, just changed the wheels around, widened them a little bit and bits and pieces like that. But apart from that, just a standard mechanical work, you know, like a bit of brakes, steering and stuff like that as things wear.
Now, before I let you go, Rick, in terms of engine, just tell us the engine size and the drive line. Just describe that for us.
It's a side valve 238 original with a 3-speed manual gearbox and just drum brakes, and all I've done is put dual exhaust on it and a couple of little modifications like that, but apart from that, it's stock standard.
Good on you, Rick. Bless its heart, eh? I mean, this is what it's all about. It's about the passion. And as Rick alluded to earlier, it's not about going fast in these cars. It's your 35, 40, 50 miles an hour, the window down, the arm on the door, and just taking it all in, isn't it?
Beautiful. I love it. Yep.
All right. Good on you, Rick. You take care of yourself, eh?
Thanks very much, Fletch. No worries. Okay, beautiful.
On you, mate.
Okay, no worries.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannons Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannons.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Australia's changed over the last 80 years, and Ryco Filters has changed with it. But one thing stayed the same: Ryco's commitment to develop and test all our filters under Australian conditions. Today, we're proudly celebrating our 80-year commitment to a design philosophy that ensures all oil, air and fuel filters meet or exceed vehicle manufacturers' specifications, delivering genuine quality and performance you can trust. Ryco Filters, the professional's choice.
If you have a restoration project, Heron Forbes has the tools that you need. Look at these restoration products: shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Heron Forbes has the range.
Evon's Waterless engine coolant. Simple to install and stays good for the life of the engine. Suitable for all engine types, Evon's contains no water, eliminating corrosion, vapour pressure and overheating. With a boiling point of 190 degrees Celsius, there's no application or environment too extreme. evonscoolants.com.au. Water for drinking, Evans for cooling.
When it comes to no limit to the imagination. How you doing, Scott?
How we going, Fletch?
Good, mate, good. 1954 FJ Holden. Man, what haven't you done to this car?
Not a lot, really. I've done pretty much most of it myself.
Okay, we start from the bare bones. When you found it, what was its condition?
Not too good. It was pretty rusty. Needed all the seals replaced and the floor pans and the rear section, so I started cutting up and getting into it.
Good for you. I mean, talk about pimp out an FJ. I mean, you've just no holes barred here. Now, on that note, were you a little bit undecided in terms of which way to go back to the purist level or to do a custom?
Oh, Fletch, I think at the start it was going to be a stock rebuild, and then I joined the old folks club that I was in, and they were pretty much all old originals, and I decided, well, I'm going to have something pretty unique that's to my taste. So
it's pretty cool for Australia's own car. I mean, this is the heritage, or going back to the 48, the FX215, 54, the FJ here, carrying through that legendary style. I guess there's no rules as to what to do with your old Holden or not, but you've done everything so well. You've put a lot of time into this car.
I think about 6 years, Fletch, in total. Yeah, it's taken a long time and the purse strings have stretched. But
well, it's good that you found time to eat and sleep.
I get fed under the car and, I sleep when I can finally close my eyes.
Good on you. Okay, Scotty, give us a rundown. Now, the engine up front, what have you done there?
It's 138 grey with quite a lot done to it. Spent an absolute fortune on it, says the wife, and it's 138 with a 3 3/16 bore, so oversized pistons.
Now, we go to the rear of the car. Now, I think the simplicity there is beautiful. I've got a thing about painted steel wheels. Okay, in this case, they're obviously not the same colour as a car, but to me that doesn't matter. A painted steel wheel is just classy to me. And what you've done there on display in that really tidy boot or trunk area, that really works a treat.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to keep the original look to it and keep the steel rims. I like the 5-stud wide wheels that were on it, so I just had them dished out a little bit to suit the stance of the car and the look, and the boot area just nice and neat, so I can throw minimal stuff in there if I need to and keep it clean.
Nice to see you've kept all the embellishments too, Scotty, like across the front of the bonnet there with the die cast, the legendary Holden symbol there, and you've also put almost like a touch of Buick with the embellishments up the side of the bonnet too.
Yes, they were custom made on Waterjet by a good friend of mine, and I drew up the design for it, and he was happy enough to do the work for me and create my own little custom look to it.
That's what it's about. Classic Restos to the furthest extent in terms of a custom car. There's no limit to what you can do and can't do. Scott, thanks for being on today's show, mate.
Thank you very much, Fletch.
That's all right.
Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Good on you, mate.
Thanks, bud.
Moving through the serious go-go department, it's time for Chris. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks, Fletch. How are you?
Good, mate, good. 1970 Challenger, 446 pack. Need we say more?
Not much more than that, Mopar or no car. You know how it is.
These things are a little bit out of the box, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Give us a quick rundown of your history and what you've had to do with Chrysler.
Well, I actually did an apprenticeship with Chrysler back in the day over in Adelaide. And from there, essentially, I've always been a Mopar nut. I've loved the cars all my life.
So, Tonsley Park boy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then we moved to the big smoke.
Yeah. And obviously, Chris, driving Valiants for many decades?
Every Valiant they ever made.
Really?
I've always owned Valiants.
Good car, do you like them?
Absolutely love them.
They were the underdog in this country, weren't they? Reflected by sales. And I mean, nothing kept up with the General. I mean, the Holden sales were just outstanding, but the Valiant was in so many ways, so many more advanced. But hey, look, I guess the Grinners are the guys that have them today. They're all great cars. But obviously, too, the cousins from the United States of America, this Challenger here. Now, this is really something. How did you acquire it?
We were over at Chryslers at Carlisle in the States on a holiday. We went to Chryslers at Carlisle. I've been looking for a car like this for quite a number of years, and then essentially I happened to see that one on display. Was able to talk the guy into selling it to me, so he did. It's been a lifelong dream to own one of these.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. You definitely get some notoriety when you own it.
I think too, you get to that point of your career or that stage of life where something like this happens, and you sort of say to yourself, "Well, yeah, okay. Well, it's time." You know what I mean?
Absolutely correct. And once you own one, there's no turning back.
See, you weren't meant to have it when you were 25 years of age because the appreciation level just wouldn't have been there.
I probably would have killed myself in it too, just quietly.
I mean, they're no slouch. I mean, these things would pull your house down.
Absolutely. It's got amazing power, these cars.
That's right.
Absolutely amazing.
I mean, okay, the new cars today with their, fuel injection, their cold air intakes, the list goes on and on and on. Of course they're going to be powerful. Here we have big cubes. We have standard induction. We've got triple carbs. It's old school all day long, and yet they still perform so well.
That's exactly right. I consider them a driver's car, though. You actually you have to learn how to drive one, and then you have to know the means by which to drive one.
There's something about saying that the cold air induction is driving at night.
That's exactly right.
Okay, we look at the interior. Chris, beautiful there, of course, the tombstone high buckets there, the seats with the inserts there. Houndstooth, are we referring to that, or what's the term there?
Salt and pepper, actually. And
Fletch was way out on that one.
And it's actually the original interior of that car. It's never been reupholstered or anything.
Now we look at the boots on the car, the big 15-inch, the big Mickey Thompsons there, mate. That just goes hand in hand as well, doesn't it?
You need something to hold you on the road. You definitely need something to give you grip.
All right, Chris, well, thank you so much for being on today's show and bringing your car along. I mean, it's not every day that you see a 1970 Challenger, particularly in this condition as well. It's at that level where no matter where you look, it just looks good.
From far away or from close up to it, no matter which way you look at it, it's a good-looking car.
Good on you, Chris.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Just a taste of the 2017 Wheels and Deals Show and Shine Day. Check out social media for the next time that this fantastic little event is on here in Pakenham. As I say at the end of every episode, until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Ryco Filters, Evans Waterless Coolants and Pace Farm.